Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and I got some very bad news the other day. I found out that about three of the GameStops in my area are going to be closing down, and there's no plans to replace them. And many of you may be in an area where you've heard the same thing about some of the GameStops in your area. And it's very sad, obviously, because GameStop for a lot of people is one of the places that a lot of people go for not only their modern games like their PlayStation 5 and 4 and Switch games, but it's also the place where a lot of people have started to go for their retro games. And what this means is that now, for a lot of video game collectors, you're going to be forced to use GameStop's website. Now, I've been doing a mix of both in-store pickups and online pickups from GameStop for the past 2 to 3 years now. And I'll give you my honest opinion. It's a mixed bag with GameStop's website. You have a little bit of an advantage when you go and you buy GameStop games in store, because you obviously have the opportunity to see the game or whatever it is you're buying up close and personal. You can make the determination of whether it's real or not. You can look at the condition and decide if the condition is good enough or not, and kind of make that decision right there on the spot and make the purchase and feel more good about the purchase you're making. I will say that when you make purchases on GameStop's website, it truly is a gamble. I don't want to say it's a 50-50 chance, because lately I've been having a little bit more luck with GameStop, and I'm going to show you some of the items that I've picked up from GameStop's website, because you might be shocked. But I would say that it's more like a 60-40 chance that what you get will be good and collectible versus in bad condition, fake, not working, and all the other reasons why you would either not buy the game or return it back to GameStop. The one thing that I will say is that, fortunately for me, in the last few months, I've been able to successfully return all items that I just was not pleased with. If GameStop sent me something that I just did not like, or I didn't think was a good fit, or I thought was fake or didn't work, I didn't really have a lot of issue returning the game to GameStop. And now that could just be because, the stores near me are reasonable. It could be a number of reasons, because I have gone to certain GameStops in my area where they refuse to accept online purchases in terms of returns. They've actually made me, go and return it via mailing the game back to GameStop. And obviously that's a very frustrating position to be put in, because it makes the return process even longer. It makes you getting your money back even more difficult. And these are the challenges that you're going to face. Now, what this means for a lot of people who do utilize GameStop to buy retro games is that, like I said in the beginning, you're going to be forced to use their website. But it's a scary notion based on a lot of the things that you hear about their website. But I do want to kind of give some hope, I guess, to those who might be a little bit fearful of making retro purchases on GameStop's website. Here's an example of a controller that I recently picked up from GameStop's website. It is a Dreamcast controller. And sometimes when you buy certain controllers from their website, they don't specify what type of controller it is. And I've been picking up Dreamcast controllers in hopes that they'll send me like the black sports controller for the sports Dreamcast that I picked up not too long ago. And this is a case where, I'm less than happy with what they sent me, right? Because obviously the controller, you probably can't tell from the lighting in this room, but the controller has some deep yellowing to it. The analog stick is very, very stiff. It doesn't have that fluid motion. The D-pad isn't horrible, but a couple of the buttons aren't working too well. So this might be a controller, this will be a controller that I'll have to return. And this could be a little bit frustrating, right? When you make a purchase from GameStop's website and they send you something that you're not too happy with. But on the flip side, I've also ordered an N64 controller from GameStop's website. And this is actually an OEM Nintendo 64 controller. Works decently well. A lot of times that these joysticks tend to kind of go bad. They tend to crap out on you and they often need to be replaced. This one isn't horrible. It's not as springy as I would like, but I've definitely felt N64 joysticks that were a lot worse than this one. So this one is one that I could actually work with, and outside of like the joystick, it's not shaking too much. A lot of times when these joysticks are really loose, they tend to do the bobblehead shake. This one isn't doing that. And the back of the controller, as you can see, isn't damaged too bad. There are some scuffs and things like that, but the good part is that it is an OEM N64 controller. Same thing with this GameCube controller. I actually ordered a GameCube controller hoping that I would get a black controller. They wound up sending me this silver GameCube controller, which does match the GameCube that I currently have, but I've been trying to get my hands on, actually I've been trying to get my hands on an Indigo controller. The good thing about this is that this analog joystick on this GameCube controller is very springy. It feels almost like new. And for someone who plays or used to play a lot of Super Smash, this is really important. When you get a really good joystick on a GameCube controller, definitely works well for Super Smash Bros. And yeah, I mean, this is an example of a decent purchase, right? They didn't absolutely screw me with this purchase. So you're gonna have cases where GameStop sends you good stuff. You're gonna have cases where GameStop sends you not so good stuff. It's like I said, you have to pick your poison. Now, I wish I had all of the bad games that I got from GameStop so that I could show you all, some of the issues that you could run into with buying games from GameStop, especially retro games. But we all know what those are. You could get games that are fake, broken, mislabeled, meaning they label the game one thing, but they send you another game. And there's a lot of horror stories and horror experiences. But I do want to share you some major wins that I've gotten from GameStop's website, just to kind of encourage you if you're wondering, should you or should you not take the chance and buy from their website. And I'm not making this to necessarily promote GameStop, because I talk a lot of smack about GameStop, but I do have to give them their credit where it's due. I'll show you some handheld pickups. So for one, Legend of Zelda, I don't know if this will focus in, but Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, this was a GameStop online pickup. Same thing with Oracle of Ages. I picked up a copy of Pokemon Yellow, authentic. Pokemon Red, authentic. Pokemon Gold, authentic. And Blue. So I've been able to pick up pretty much every childhood Pokemon game that I played as a kid, and they were all legit from GameStop's website. Not only was I able to get some Pokemon games, I've been able to actually find some really rare titles from GameStop's website. One of them being a copy of Batman and Robin for the Super Nintendo, very rare Super Nintendo game. Mega Man X2, another really rare Super Nintendo game. Final Fantasy 3, Shadow of the Ninja, and a lot of these cartridges, one thing I'll give GameStop is that 8 times out of 10, the labels on their cartridges will be very good, like really good condition. This is a very clean copy of Shadow of the Ninja, very clean. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. And then I know a lot of times people are really nervous about picking up like the disc-based games, because they tend to send you a lot of like games in an envelope, or you get an aftermarket case. But I've had a 50-50, success rate with their case games or their boxed games. Even recently, picked up a copy of Phantom Hourglass. This came complete in box. The manual was great. This was in like new condition. Picked up a copy of Lollipop Chainsaw. This was in, like I said, this was in like new condition as well. Everything is super crispy on the inside, complete in box. X-Men Origins Wolverine was complete. They sent me a complete copy of Mario Kart Double Dash, and they included the bonus disc. This is really rare for you to get everything complete. They did send that to me not that long ago. And another example is this like new copy of Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. And believe it or not, a lot of these were purchased during their buy two get one. So not only did I get a lot of these below what like the eBay price would go for, but I also got a lot of these games for free. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I've also picked up other games like Def Jam Fight for New York, Kirby's Air Ride for the GameCube games, NES games, Super NES games. So the silver lining when it comes to these stores closing is that you still have the online option of picking up games from GameStop. The only thing is that if you do order games from GameStop and you don't have like a GameStop near you that you can return the games to if they're not in good condition or if they're not in a condition that you're willing to accept, you are going to have to deal with mailing those games back. So the experience is really going to vary based on your location, based on the type of games you're looking for, and how much you're willing to kind of like sift through all the junk that they can send you from time to time. But it is very sad that so many stores are closing because I could understand one store closing, but when you see two and three stores closing, that's really not a good sign. So, and if they are forcing us to do all of our shopping online, well, you kind of see that kind of the writing is on the wall, right? For physical, we've already seen where there's been tons of talk about physical games being removed from like Best Buys and Targets and stuff. But now that a lot of these GameStop stores are turning their attention towards toys and trading cards, and they're closing stores on top of that, that's a huge hit to the gaming community. Not just like retro collecting, but even just the modern gaming community. If you want to pick up the latest copy of Madden or NBA 2K, probably going to wind up having to order it online, especially if there's no GameStop near you or it's not being carried in any of your major stores. But let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what your success rate has been with GameStop's website. Let me know how you feel about stores closing near you. I'm really interested to know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy. Oh, and by the way, the Lakers got a big man. For those of you who've been keeping up with the NBA trades, Miami Heat said goodbye to Jimmy Butler. He is now a Golden State Warrior. The Wizards traded Kyle Kuzma over to the Bucks. The Bucks did not get that much better. And the most latest news that we got is a multi-team trade between, I think, New Orleans, Charlotte, and the Los Angeles Lakers. The main thing I care about is that the Lakers finally got themselves a big man who is pretty efficient when he's healthy, but we'll need to see where that goes. So very interesting stuff happening in the NBA. Also, this weekend is Super Bowl weekend. I do plan on watching it. I'm getting my mini burgers, my wings, my nachos. I'm getting all that stuff ready because it is going to be a time. Let me know if you guys are checking out the Super Bowl or if you've been keeping up with the trades. I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.